How y'all doing? So I grew up in the church and that was a shitty response. How y'all doing? Okay, thank you. And before I do anything else, allow me to acknowledge with honor and respect that we are on the unceded territory of the Piscataway people, now known as the state of Maryland in the United States of America. Secondly, let me do something to free the tension in our shoulders, because Earth's kind of crazy right now, right? So maybe you shrug your shoulders a bit, maybe you create friction in the hands, but let something loose, y'all. Don't be so uptight, okay? So just let something go. Take an inhale through the nose, exhale out the mouth. And for those of you who've never meditated, you just did. I want to thank you to Mayor Brandon Scott, the duly elected incumbent mayor of Baltimore, who cut quick to the truth when these racists were throwing insults on some bullshit when our region endured the loss of the Key Bridge. The collapse of the Key Bridge, thank you, Mayor Scott, for your leadership and your willingness to clap back with facts when people come at you with rhetoric. Thank you also to Senator Tina Smith for your commitment to safe communities, reproductive freedom, and progressive values. And a special shout out to the members of Congress who come on stage after me, four of the strongest progressive voices full of courage, vision, and truth. So my name is Reggie Hubbard. Some of you know me, some of you don't. If you don't know me, you'll never forget me, I promise you. And on behalf of the Netroots Nation C4 board, it's my honor to welcome you to Netroots Nation 2024 here in my home state of Maryland. Right. I know some of y'all thought you were coming to Maryland. I don't know where that's at. Right. So welcome to Netroots Nation in Baltimore, Maryland. And as a young man who grew up in Anne Arundel County Public Schools, where my guidance counselors told me, if you go to college, brother, it may be community college. Thank you to Kurt Schmoke, a young black mayor from Baltimore, who gave me a vision to go past the limited imagination of my guidance counselors, and I went to Yale just like he did. Right? This is the home state of Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi. This is the home of titans in our struggle for liberation, justice, and freedom. Some of my childhood models: Elder Harriet Tubman, Elder Frederick Douglass, Elder Thurgood Marshall, Reginald Lewis, Elijah Cummings, just to name a few. We made history last cycle by electing Wes Moore. And we about to make history again by electing Angela Also Brooks. Trust black women, and Maryland, my Maryland, that's my Maryland. So as I come before you today, and I've come before you in previous Netroots gathering, it's in a spirit of service, compassion, and honesty. A couple of years in Pittsburgh, I had one of my gongs, and I was just like, we're gonna celebrate. I'm gonna force y'all to celebrate. We got some different stuff going on right now. It's not that I don't want you to celebrate, but this is taking place in a tremendous season of uncertainty, heartache, and struggle. It's like we lost track with our humanity in so many ways. So at this conference and gathering, let me explicitly state that we're here to create an environment of community, hope, and action. We're here to create an environment of community, hope, and action, a reminder that we come to this work with a particular point of view, but we have the common ground to move forward together. A reminder that this has been a hard year, couple years, decade, lifetime, for many of us, yet we still show up. A reminder to hold one another in truth and grace as we do the deep work of repair on ourselves for collective healing, progress, and liberation. A reminder of our collective power and responsibility to do right by one another while we do right by ourselves. So bring your anger, bring your fear, bring your confusion, bring your disappointment. It's all welcome here. But remember to bring your love. Because at the core of our work in progressive movement circles, anger and fear may be the fuel source, but love has got to be the guiding principle. James Baldwin reminds us, I love America more than any other country in the world. And it's exactly for that reason I insist on criticizing her perpetually. Baldwin also said about love, love takes off the mask that we fear we cannot live without, but know that we cannot live with. I use the word love here, not merely in the personal state of being in grace or in the infantile American sense of being happy, but in the tough universal quest of daring and growth. Where is your love in this movement? So there'll be plenty of talks about tactics and strategy and data and the rest. And at any other conference, I would probably be moderating one of them or breaking up a fight, because I've done that a few times here too. But there'll be talks about how we win, but for the elder, Lauren Hill, she told us, how you gonna win when you ain't right within? How you gonna win when you ain't right within? Come again, okay? So we come together with all that we're carrying, aware of the stakes before us in the race, aware of the caring concern of what we're advocating for. And I come to you to take off the veil a bit. Many of you know this. 90 days ago, I had a mild stroke. There is no such thing as a medium stroke, right? So a mild stroke. And with God's grace and ancestral favor, I'm standing on 2 feet before you today. Right? In a moment's notice, shit got real. Like, body was just like, I need your attention, please. And I went from healthcare organizing because it's the right thing to do, to patient. And so I appreciate the Affordable Care Act for the gift that it has given me to heal on my timetable. It's not an academic pursuit anymore. The Affordable Care Act saved my life. It saved my financial life as an independent contractor. So when we talk about these policies that we work for, they impact people's lives. We must remember that, and we must remember that with love. I gained perspective on how precious life is. Not only my healing journey, but that of the stroke survivor community. I've seen firsthand the power of community in the way that my activist family has come to support me, my teaching community. Some of y'all came to visit me in the hospital, thank you. Some of y'all called me, thank you. And you know what that has taught me? We are stronger together. We're in this together. You can have a bad moment, and when your people come for you, the clouds part and the sky opens up full of beautiful sunshine. So thank y'all for being there for me. I want to quote our dear Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who said the following in a recent newsletter, and I think that speaks to where we are in this moment. She said, "What's important in moments like these is not to think in binaries. Good, bad, screwed, not screwed. There is no doubt things are bad. Some things are really bad, and they'll likely get worse. But that does not preclude the fact that slowly but surely, some good can be seen growing as things fall apart. This is not some syrupy, sweet, silver lining cause for optimism. Rather, it's a choice about all that we have to make, consciously or unconsciously. Will I be a person who is safe and creates good for others?" That's what AOC said. And she also said that the world that we're fighting for is already here. Why do you think the Supreme Court has lost its goddamn mind? Because it's already here, and they're trying to take back what's already here. They can't do it if we don't let them, okay? And we may not be excited about our choices in the election, but how can we use imperfect circumstances to help form a more perfect union? That's the question I have for you. And I'll close by offering a Howard Thurman quote. For those of you that don't know Howard Thurman, get your weight up. Like, it was, while written nearly a century ago, it's equally as applicable now. Elder Thurman said, "The stirring of energy in myriad forms of unstructured malevolences may well be the spirit of life at work in behalf of a new life and perhaps even a new creation on this planet." So to make it plain, all the dumb shit that's happening now, maybe it has to happen in order for some new shit to come to you, right? So we cannot do that unless we're able to give ourselves the caution, remain at peace in the depth of your heart in spite of your restless imagination. We're living in interesting times, family, times that are unprecedented, and I'm sick of that word. Who else is sick of unprecedented times? Can we just go back to some precedent, please? This shit is getting tiring. But unprecedented assaults on our civil liberties and our freedoms, and some might argue our sanity. There's tremendous passion, anger, and confusion and disillusionment in our nation. We're tired and we're scared. So how do we get out of this mess, I ask you? We get real with ourselves. We take ourselves and take care of one another. Just like I've done in my life, like when the stroke happened, I had to take care of myself, so now I can take care of you. And we rely on community and faith in something bigger than ourselves, dedicated to service and healing until one day, quicker than you might expect it, you're walking on your own 2 feet with power and grace. You may never know what miracle will emerge from your mess, so don't give up on the mess. I wish you peace and blessing in this moment, and thank you for the chance to be of service.